This is Wes Beech from the Plasmatics. When I'm not busy counting my quarter share of songwriting credits for the song Love's a Deadly Weapon from the Kiss Asylum album, I'm tuned in to Hooked on Sonics with the always entertaining and interesting Bruce and Tony. Be sure to tune in, like, and subscribe. You'll be glad you did. Rock on.
And we're live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode of Hooked on Sonics. I am one of your two hosts, Bruce, and as always, everyone's brother from another mother. And this week, we are super stoked again to be visited by our good friend. A lot of you may know him from the accidents, from shock therapy, some little band called the Plasmatics. But we know him as our friend and esteemed panel member of the show, the legendary Wes Beech. Wes, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing great. Great. Good to see you guys as always. Thanks for
Absolutely.
having me on.
Absolutely, man. Wes wanted to come on the show, and we're going to talk about the second New York Dolls album, In Too Much, Too Soon. This is going to be really exciting. Can't wait to get into it. Before we get into it, we've got a couple of housekeeping things to get to. Tony, um, Wes had actually emailed me last week saying Richie Stotts was wanting to know how are you.
Well, we can all tell Richie I am good. Good evening. And to all of you other folks out there watching, I'm good. Things are hectic as usual. It is well, how do they say? It's beginning to look a lot like fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm not a big holiday guy, man. I don't like the conglomerate of it. I really don't. I like giving gifts, don't get me wrong. I like getting them too, just the same, man. But it's just like we were discussing. I was emailing Bruce this week, or I texted message Bruce this week, and I said, "Hey, man, what's your address? I need to send you something." And he goes, "No, no, no, we're not going to start that."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Look, dude, I've been planning on buying this for you since March for Christmas. Okay, there ain't no." He goes, "Well, I didn't get no. I'm not worried about you getting me anything. Do not feel obligated to get me anything. You're my best friend, and I want to send you something cool that I think you'll thoroughly enjoy. I know it'll make an appearance on the show.
Oh
So,
yeah.
um, if he doesn't enjoy it, I'll know.
We'll hear
Um,
about it.
but you'll see. I got you a couple things. I didn't spend a ton of money, and you don't need to worry about it.
There
So
you go.
I look
Hey,
forward to
what?
sending it off to you, though.
Yeah. Hey, Wes, are you done with your Christmas shopping yet?
Oh hell no. I've gotten some done, but I still have more to do.
We lucked out, so all of our kids are grown up and out and at them, and so we just give them cash.
Yeah, that's the easy way to do it.
Easy way, just send it, be done. So,
Yep, couple gift cards and you're all done.
hmm
Yeah.
yep.
But
So I guess, Wes, what have you been listening to this week?
Well, of course I listened to that Dolls album. I hadn't heard that in a while. So I had to put that on and crank it up. I've been listening to some Kiss, in memory of Ace, and still kind of, getting over that shock.
Yeah. Oh, did you see where Gene opened his fucking fat mouth again?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it's for those who don't know. Basically, he was interviewed by the New York Post and saying, "Well, I don't know of anybody that is died because of falling downstairs, and his bad decisions led to his death, and all that. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like, there is a great Eddie Trunk put this great rant, uh, a good half hour rant on Gene the other day, and I strongly recommend anyone to check that out because Gene was way out of line in that, in typical Gene fashion. Just unreal.
Yeah, Eddie was spot on with all of that too.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, dude. I know you guys are big Kiss fans, but it's exactly because of that crap right there that I sit there and I think of being a young man and I idolized, especially Gene Simmons at the time. Idolize these people, and they are just horrible, horrible people. They gave this great gift to the world of this wonderful amount of catalog of music, but they are just despicable fucking people to each other and the world. They are not nice people.
They're complicated, but
Complicated my ass.
he just needs to shut the hell up. He just needs to shut the fuck up.
Sometimes, yeah, and I don't disagree with you there. Sometimes Gene just doesn't not know when to keep his fucking mouth shut. I
Yeah.
love him to death, but sometimes some things are just better left unsaid.
Yep. Wrong place, wrong time. Did either of you happen to catch that Kennedy Center?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool to see Monique, Ace's daughter, there and just soaking that all in. Um, Great seeing Peter just really soaking that into, and just it was great. It was great to see that.
I thought it was
Um,
pretty funny that Paul was the first one up to get his honor, and then he was off camera the whole time, and it was just Gene and Peter.
yeah, I love that interaction that Trump had. Like, Paul was like expecting a good handshake and all that, and he just patted him on the shoulder. Ah, that's good, right? Huh? Get out of here, Just totally blew him off, and Paul's like, "What? I don't know what's going on." So that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
oh
crazy.
shoot, Tony, what have you been listening to, my friend?
Uh, Trying to get through my top five. That's why I'm having a hard time giving you an album this evening. Um, but was listening to some Mortician. Um, I just got a good piece of their catalog between Bandcamp and Amazon, and then I've been listening to some Ohm. I've just been listening to a lot of them lately. And then uh, that the last bit of the municipal waste stuff I bought to pick up my on my collection. Um, and then obviously this New York Dolls album today. Uh, I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I was listening to here recently? Who the hell? Oh, some Parliament.
There you go.
So yeah, I was listening to some Parliament yesterday. Had my
Very
sister in the car and she was like, "What is this?" I said, "Just I'm gonna run to the grocery store real quick. You sit here and enjoy this album."
just want to sit here and take it. Oh shoot. Well,
What about you?
for me, I've been on a Dolls kick for a while. Um, Also, so I've been checking out pretty much all those albums except for the last one. I really don't dig the last album that much. But one day will please us. One of my favorite Dolls albums, jamming to that a lot. Um, Also checking out a lot of Ace's solo stuff. I revisited Space Invader and 10,000 Volts. Um, there's some really good stuff on Space Invader, and there's there's some not so good stuff, like his cover of the Joker. Fucking awful. That was probably the worst cover I've heard in a long time. Yeah, that heart.
I think I can top you, and that just gave me an idea for this week's album for you.
There you go. Listen to a lot of David Johansen stuff. Obviously, I picked up that re-release of the first David Johansen and Harry Smith's album for Black Friday. And then, of course, the Heartbreakers, LAMF, which Wes is proudly showing off that shirt there. He turned me on to that album, and I was on a Johnny Thunders kick too, all because of Wes. So it's all your fault, Wes. Thank you.
All right, I'll enjoy it.
So
Nice.
yeah, that was me.
Cool. Cool. Um, Bruce, what is that tasty beverage you got in your hand over there?
Well, let me tell you,
That looks like Metamucil.
yes, I'm a little backed up. So I had the company Christmas party on Friday. I was dressed to the nines in all my gaudy regalia, as only I can. And I picked up a bottle of Penelope bourbon. It's a four grain barrel strength corn, rye, wheat, and malted barley. Um, Pretty darn good here. Have you ever had Penelope? Either one of you guys?
No.
Oh, I have a love affair with the Penelope toasted.
Yeah.
I think I may have even given you a sip at some point. I hope that I did. If not, the next time you come up, there's a bottle of this store pick toasted that I've got up here. That's when I think of my top 5 bourbons to drink, Penelope toasted's at the top 5.
There you go.
They're
Well,
good. They're good bourbon, dude.
yep. Well, this Penelope barrel strength, um, first time having it, it mixes really good with Milo's lemonade. Everyone, come down to East Tennessee and get you some Milo's. Anyway, mixing that up.
Classic.
Um, mm-hmm.
That's a tone classic.
It's
Bur-
potent.
Bourbon and lemonade, it does the trick.
Yeah. Uh, this barrel strength is potent. Um, it's got a nice little burn on the end. It's not overwhelming. Um, I'm gonna give this a solid 4. It's not bad at all.
You got to
Not
have the
bad at all.
toasted. When you get up here, have the toasted, dude. Trust me.
Okay.
You're. If you gave that a 4, you'll give this one a 5.
All right. I'll give you a little handshake of that.
Okay. Good deal.
Wes, what about you, man?
Well, I got my Godzilla Pabst, which is pretty cool.
That
I
is
love
so
Just the
cool.
basic, just the basic Pabst. Good drinking beer, but with Godzilla on the can, you can't go wrong.
Nice.
Now, is there a reason why it's got Godzilla on it? Like, is it trying to promote something?
I don't know, to be honest. I just thought it was cool. I'm a big
Yeah.
Godzilla fan.
I'll be honest with you. I think I know why.
Hmm.
And the only reason I say that I think I know why is because there's a resurgence of Godzilla and some kind of anniversary right now. I want to say it's like 60th, maybe 70th
No,
anniversary.
70th anniversary. Yeah.
70th anniversary.
But
But
actually, last year was 70.
so,
Hmm.
ooh, there is a beautiful, and I believe it's a Fender. It's made in Japan though, for the anniversary of Godzilla. If you get the chance, look up the Fender Godzilla collection. I think they only did 2 or 3, and they are freaking awesome. Like if I was going to own a Fender, this would rank among probably the top 5 Stratocasters I would. It is. It's awesome. That's all I can say is it's awesome, dude. It's I don't want to describe it. I think you just should just go look it up.
You have to check that out.
Yeah, Wes, you being a Godzilla fan, it's really freaking cool.
Hmm.
I can't believe that's been 70 years.
Yeah.
Makes me feel old as shit.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and I'm only 50.
but watching those movies, when we were kids, it's like they were amazing.
What
They
was the
were
clown?
just amazing.
Who was the clown that used to introduce the Godzilla movies? What was that? Was that Flippo for us?
Yeah, yeah, Flippo the clown.
Because everybody had regional hosts. We had Fritz the Night Owl for Monster Theater on the weekends, and then every once in a while we'd get Elvira's Monster After Midnight special and stuff. You know what I'm talking about. And then in the mornings, I believe it was Flippo and Maybe Dr. Kangaroo didn't do no introducing shows like that, but I want to
Captain
say it was
Kangaroo.
yeah, Captain Kangaroo. Sorry, my bad,
Yeah,
dude.
wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Drugs.
Mr. Green Jeans now presents the Manson family. What the fuck are
No
you talking
shit.
about? Wes, you
Uh,
guys had like Svengoolian stuff in your
Yeah.
area, didn't you?
Well, he's there now. I mean, we had in Detroit, they had the Ghoulardi and the Ghoul. But, in New York, I had Zachary.
Hmm.
cool. Man, they're still doing Fritz stuff. There's a big release of Fritz stuff coming out here soon.
Oh, that the grader's been talking about that shit for years.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get it all finalized.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. What are you
Bruce,
drinking?
me personally, I am drinking. So you see me drink the Rheingeist beers. I really do like that brewery. Um, they're down in Cincy. Their light beer is a Cincy Light, and then
Mm-hmm.
they also have a Cincy Light Lime. I do like lime flavored beers. I do like a Corona with lime every once in a while. As far as lime beers go, I'll be honest with you. This might be my new favorite lime beer. I hope the store keeps it around. It's very light, refreshing, easy to drink. Tastes like a pretty good Pilsner with a hint of lime. Um, and I'm giving it 4.5, man.
There you go.
I'm giving it four
Yeah,
and a half. I like
Rheingeist
it.
does. Yeah, Rheingeist does a good job on their beer for sure.
Oh, dude, there's not. I can't remember a Ryan Gass that I didn't really care for. I even like their sour.
I can't do sour beers.
Dude, some of them are amazing, man. When I was down in Virginia, we were down in Richmond. Um, I'll make this real brief. We were supposed to get. It was between Richmond and Columbus was going to get the Stone Brewing Company on the East Coast, and Richmond beat us out somehow. However, we were down visiting friends from where Kate was down in Richmond for a year, and we were just looking for. She goes, "You want to go hit up a brewery or anything while we're down here?" And it's just kind of funny that she mentioned it. And I said, "Sure, let's go see what's close by." Boom, Stone Brewing Company, dude. I went ape shit. I just shot my ass over there. Well, anyways, they had what was called, and it was the first time I ever had a sour. It was called a water lily sour fruited ale or something like that. And then we were in the middle of a summer day, and I'm drinking this fucking fresh sour on tap that you can only get at the brewery. And dude, I probably dropped $500 that day. It's next between grabbing beers to go and souvenirs and shirts and hats and shit. Like I'm out. I'm a nut in places that I love, dude. Don't get me down into Puerto Rico at the Bacardi distillery. I will act a fucking fool, dude. They're like, sir, you cannot bring the 151 back on the plane. It is a flammable liquid.
Yeah, it'll all be internalized. It's fine.
Oh
It'll.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, man, everybody sounds like they're having a good fresh beverage, and
Mm-hmm.
man, we got a really cool album to talk about tonight. I don't have
Yeah.
anything. I don't have anything for news, man. I really just want to get into the album if we can.
Well, I did want to ask Wes a couple of things. A, kind of like what are some things that you've been working on? And then I also wanted to ask you specifically about the Wendy O. Williams episode of Into the Void. If you had caught that, I know you had
Yeah.
participated in that.
Hmm.
Kind of what were your thoughts on the episode or maybe even the series in general?
Well, I thought it was really well done. They presented, Wendy up front. She is so often overlooked in music. You see the top 50 heavy metal singers of all time and everything,
Hmm.
articles and books, and Wendy's never mentioned. So I
Yeah.
thought that was really good and well done to put her face forward and, put her out there to the masses and show people what she stood for and what she represented. I thought it was really well done and good.
Yeah. So it was you and PC that were interviewed for that, right? As far as
Right.
band. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, and then Rod Swenson was interviewed off camera.
Okay. Okay. How's Rod doing?
He's good. He's doing good.
Good.
Keeping busy, enjoying his life.
Yeah. Any new plasmatics things in the works?
Well, funny you should say that. I'm working on this Plasmatics tribute with a good buddy of mine, Bloody Mess,
Mm-hmm.
as a vocalist. We're doing a 6 song EP, four Plasmatics tunes, and two originals. And we just got a guest vocalist sign on. We've got Leaf Garrett is going to do a guest vocal on
That's
Black
awesome.
Black Leather Monster.
Nice.
Dude, that's awesome.
That
Yeah,
is
he wants to put his pop, his pop stuff behind him. He
Hmm.
just did his last show as a pop star, and he's coming out. He's a real punk rock fan and heavy metal fan, and he wants to do a vocal out with us. So that should be really cool.
That's
that's
awesome, man.
awesome, man.
When when are you kind of expecting that to see the light of day? If you
Uh,
had to guess.
I would have to say maybe in the summer.
Okay.
2026.
Yeah, probably summer 2026. Yeah,
That's not
working on
bad.
it now. Yeah.
Oh
Dude, that's
yeah.
awesome. Um, are you personally working on anything there locally?
Um, I'm working with another guy, a good friend of mine, Dan Fastuca. He's a Gibson endorser and a really good player. We're working on a track that Robin Zanders going to do the vocals on. It features the drummer from Yngwie Malmsteen's band and bass player who played with Black Sabbath. And should be very interesting as well.
Dude, that's
Nice.
awesome. So last question for this piece. How do you still practice and how often?
Not enough would be my answer. I just don't really have the time. Especially now, I work for the post office and this is the busiest time of year. So
Oh yeah.
I'm working 10, 12 hours days. I work Thanksgiving. I work the day after. So it's been crazy.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll get some time when that's all done with and I can spend some more time. I'd
Yeah.
really like to play a lot more.
That's like Ross the Boss, man. He's got that batting cage that he runs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Pretty
You know,
crazy.
it's crazy to think that, these guys that have lived these big lives are working normal jobs, man. And it's more often a big thing than it isn't.
Right.
How many guys come off the road, go back to a 9 to 5 just to keep things tight. I mean, think about bands that play smaller venues and whatnot. They're just going around getting their start, or they're just playing. They're at the end. That's one of the things like the Alrosa was. The Alrosa was this place where either you were getting your start, or you were, you knew you could pack that place, or you were on your way out. You know, how many bands did we see coming up, and then kind of on their way out at the Alrosa?
Oh, dude. I mean, I've seen Ace and Peter there more than a handful of times.
Yeah. And these are guys that have played in front of huge stadiums and whatnot, you know.
Well,
But
Damage Plan, where that's where Dime passed away.
yeah,
Fuck.
you know,
I hate, so that anniversary just passed along
yeah,
with John Lennon, but like, I hate where the headlines are saying like a fan, he was murdered by a fan. No, this guy was a fucking nutcase who swore
Mhm.
up and down that they stole his songs. Like
yeah.
he wasn't a fan. That just, that shit bothers me.
I
Totally
mean,
bothers
it
me.
was a fanatical fan. Some
He
people
was
are like,
nuts.
dude, some people are like that, dude. Like I'm a fan of music. I can't count how many bands I absolutely love, and I own all of their libraries. You know, I've been buying music since I was probably 10 years old.
Yeah, but you're not saying any of them stole your songs.
No, you don't do that.
You know.
That's ignorance.
Hmm.
That's just ignorance. They stole my songs. All right, then get up there and play like Dimebag.
Mm,
Get up there and play like Vinnie Paul. They stole your shit. Show me how they stole it. You show me how you play it better than them. Come on,
yeah,
asshole.
just nuts.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
it's lunacy, dude. It's lunacy.
yeah. All right. Well, let's start talking about some dolls. So, Wes, I'm going to start with you. Where You grew up, this is right in your wheelhouse. This is in your neck of the woods. When did you first experience the dolls?
Well, it's kind of funny. I My sister is actually kind of responsible for me getting into the dolls because she was dating this guy. She was 15 at the time. She told him she was 18. He was a 21-year-old bass player. When he found out she was 15, he totally freaked out. But he used to come over and he'd play all these records, really cool records that turned me on to like Black Sabbath and Alice Cooper.
Mhm.
And he brought over a Mott the Hoople's All the Young Dudes album. And my sister really liked that album, so she gave it to me for Christmas one year. I loved it. I thought it was great. Mott the Hoople was playing a show at the Felt Forum in Manhattan. Now, the Felt Forum is about this 2,000 seat theater on top of Madison Square Garden. So we went to go see Mott the Hoople, got some tickets, and the opening band was the New York Dolls. And I had read an article in Rolling Stone about them right before we went to the concert. And I was kind of interested in him because David Johansen said that the whole idea of the dolls was he wanted to look bored and scared shitless. He wanted to act like 16-year-olds. And they were kind of like a Stones type band.
Hmm.
So I remember we went to the show and it was like a total glam fest because of Mott the Hoople, at the time was a big glam band. So everybody was all decked out, all glammed out, get to the show. And Todd Rundgren had produced the Dolls' first album. He came out to introduce them. Then Wolfman Jack came out to introduce them,
No shit.
which was really cool. And then the house lights went down. These two police beacons were off, a blue one on one side of the stage, red one on the other side of the stage. The theme from Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse started playing from the PA system really loud, which was really cool. I don't know if you guys know that cartoon, but it was real
Hmm.
popular in the 60s. Then the house lights came on, the dolls hit the stage, and I'll tell you what, it was incredible. It was such a wall of noise. Johnny Thunders just totally commanded the stage. David Johansen was singing, doing his best Mick Jagger impersonation. And it just incredible. Totally blew me away. Every song was memorable. Every song was a hook laden. And it was just incredible. The next day, I went out to S. Klein's, which was a department store on Long Island, and I bought the Dolls' first album. I was still tired from the concert, but I went to the store as soon as I got up and could get over there just to get the album. And
Yeah.
I remember taking it up to the clerk, and he looks at it. He goes, "Are these guys any good?" And I just looked at him. I said, "They were fantastic," and they were. And that album was great too.
Hmm.
And in fact, the second album, "In Too Much Too Soon," the one we're going to be talking about, their sophomore effort, a lot of the songs from that were actually ready for the first album,
Hmm.
but they didn't get recorded.
Yeah,
It's
a
an
lot of demos.
interesting story, right? Right, a lot of demos, but that's how I was introduced to the Dolls, and then I went to see them a few more times after that. Followed them throughout the years, and Johnny Thunders was my guitar inspiration, my idol. I've always loved the way he played, his swagger, his guitar style. I mean, it launched, think about how many guitar players were influenced by Johnny Thunders.
Hmm.
Before Ace Frehley, it was Johnny Thunders.
Yep. Yeah,
Nice.
he was definitely, he was a huge fan of like Chuck Berry and, obviously the Stones and stuff like that. And you can absolutely tell in his playing. And that was one of the things that I was absolutely turned on to by the Dolls is Johnny's guitars. Just his playing was just so perfect. It just the emotion and just the absolute just fierceness in it and just so good.
Attitude.
Uh,
I mean, he
yeah,
played with such
attitude.
attitude. I mean,
Yep.
he commanded the instrument, and I mean, his some of his lines and the way he played it, and he was a big fan and influenced by the '60s and '60s girl group music, and
Hmm.
you could tell in his playing, it was very melodic uh, uh, and sloppy, but that was his thing.
Yep. How old were you? How old were you at that time when you first seen him with Mop the Hoople?
I was probably about 19, 18, 19.
Yeah. Was there any other band at that time that looked like them, that that really sounded like them, or did they just come off a fucking planet whatever? Like
Well, it's,
what is?
the Stones were the closest band to them,
Mm-hmm.
but the Stones were a little more straightforward, a little more blues oriented, and I think the Dolls were a little more glammy and a little more rock.
Yeah. Yep.
And they were, they commanded Lower Manhattan.
Nice.
Yeah. To be, I always get, you know, I don't know. It's just it boggles my mind to try to put myself in, say, like your shoes when all these bands, the Dictators, New York Dolls, all these killer bands, like right when they were just starting to come up, and you were right there, like, oh yeah, just seen them at
Right.
CBGB's, a little hole in the wall joint,
Yeah,
That's
it was wild. To me, it was like Paris in the 20s. You had all these bands, all these artists. There was this commingling of ideas and sound and playing. And another thing about the Dolls was the guitar interplay between Sylvain and Johnny Thunders.
Yeah.
mhm,
I mean, it was so cool that Sylvain had his style, Johnny had his style, and I kind of use that as a template, throughout my guitar playing career. Try to play something different than the other guitar player was playing. And
yeah,
if you listen to that interplay between Johnny and Sylvain, and then listen to the interplay between Ace and Paul Stanley on the first Kiss album, I think you'll notice some similarities.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah,
And at the
I can,
time, I've never heard anybody ask Paul or ask Gene about the influence of those bands to them. I
mm,
know they were fans of the Dolls and they used to go see the Dolls, but you never really hear about that kind of musical influence on them. And
yeah.
same with bands like Television. That's another band that had two guitar players that played off each other.
Yeah,
Nice.
Television's another band that doesn't get enough, you know, respect other than from other musicians. They're like a musician's band, you know what I mean?
Right? Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Oh,
Kind of like
well,
rock, kind of like Rocky Erickson. Either you know about him or you don't,
Right.
and you
Oh
don't know,
yeah.
and you don't know who he influenced. He influenced a lot of people,
Right.
and Rocky Erickson's somebody I can get down with just about any time. So
Yeah.
a lot of my friends are big 13th floor elevator fans. I don't get it. I like Rocky solo stuff more.
Really?
I just don't get the elevators.
No. You
Ah,
should listen to him a bit more. We've
all
heard
right.
it. Billy Gibbons was a big fan of the Elevators.
A lot of people are. I haven't heard the quintessential album. I'm like, okay, I get it. Haven't heard it yet. But
didn't I dump a Rocky album on you?
yeah, yeah, Rocky solo album.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into this album. New York Dolls, In Too Much Too Soon. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, in all of their glory. Right there. That looks like that picture looks like it was like from what was that what was that old TV show? The old gray whistle stop.
Oh,
Oh,
Gray
Gray
Whistle
Whistle
Test.
Test. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. There kind of looks like the album cover was, come off of that or something. So I don't know if they actually played on that, but that's what it looks like. So I guess we'll start with the cover. Wes, what do you think about the cover?
Oh, I like it. I think it's really, really cool. It presents them just the way they looked, and it's from the glam rock era,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a perfect representation of that. It was a style. They were all about style.
Yep. I Arthur back there just looks he just looks wild back there.
Eh,
This big lava blonde hair. Just so fun. Toad, what do you think?
Me, I love it. I
Yeah.
think, you know, if you listen to the Dolls and know who they influenced and you know what they created at that time, uh, it like Wes said, it catches the essence of what a live show you were getting into. Like it's a very captivating album cover. It looks like if I was a young individual, yeah, I want to see that. That looks like it'd be fun to see. You know what I'm saying? So it has
Yep.
that kind of impact on me. It's a great album cover.
Nope. I absolutely agree. Let's see. First, let's start with the first track, Babylon. Wes, you're up, my friend. What do you think?
Well, Babylon was actually a town on the middle of Long Island. And it was where, glam really was powerful force there. It was a big glam rock fan base in Babylon. And that's what they were singing about. From
Wow.
the beginning, David Johansen comes out with his whistle and exhortation of, come on, boys, and rips right into the song.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it's like nonstop. I think that's a fantastic song. And it's based on, on fact. I mean, that was it.
Yeah.
Babylon.
Yep. Uh, from A to F, what would you give this song? Or yeah, give this song.
Oh, I give this song a solid 10. It's my favorite song on the album. It starts off the album and it doesn't let up.
Yeah. Uh,
I mean, Thunders is playing out of his mind on that
oh
track.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I put it on here. This is an absolute instant classic. This is an absolute Dolls classic. Um, really great groove in this. I love how everyone has their own little pieces where they shine. Like, Sylvain's little scratch guitar, obviously Johnny's playing, David, and just everyone has their little time to shine in this song. I absolutely love it. Um, I know this has been covered a couple times by quite a few people. I know that Keith Roth was able to do a duet with David Johansen on this for one of his Frankenstein 3000 albums, and fuck, it was what 40 years later, and David could still kill it, still killed it, man. So, A plus for me. I love this song.
I gave it an A myself. I said it is a straightforward rocking tune. Great vocals and backup vocals, man. I think it's one of the things I definitely want to mention about this album is you're going to hear some really cool backup vocals across this album on several tracks. Some female backing vocals, the band backing vocals. It sounds like. I really dig some of the harmonization and stuff going on this. Killer guitar and riff. I love the drums on this. I said it was a great opener. I want to preface this album with saying, big guitars, driving bass lines and drums. David Johansen proves why he was such an influence on so many frontmen. So that's my initial take on this.
Mm-hmm.
Babylon gets a straight A from me, man.
Well, you mentioned drums, and the drummer in the Dolls, Jerry Nolan, was an amazing drummer, and he was the powerhouse behind the Dolls. And you listen to some of that drumming; it's just incredible.
It is
And when you
incredible.
think about it, Jerry Nolan was best friends with Peter Criss,
That's right.
and they, of course, bounced ideas around off each other. And but they were both big jazz fans, both big fans of Gene Krupa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got taught by Gene, didn't they?
What's that?
Gene gave them lessons.
Yeah, I
Am I
think
right?
so.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Oh,
and
wild.
incredible. And again, and another thing about the album was produced by Shadow Morton.
Mm-hmm.
They actually had to get out of almost semi-retirement to produce the record, and that kind of created a little friction in the band because Sylvain and Johnny Thunders actually wanted Lieber and Stoller to produce the album, but at the time they were more into managing bands like Aerosmith, so they didn't want to do it. And then Shadow Morton's name came up, and David Johansen jumped at that because he was a big Shangri La's fan, and that was what Shadow Morton produced, the Shangri La's albums. And
Yeah,
I think he did a really good job on the album. A lot of people don't care for it, but I thought the production is great. And the
yeah, I agree. And I think it's funny, like, kind of doing a little research, like the Dolls really didn't like the production on the first album that Todd Rundgren did. But man, I thought it was just as good as on here, to
yeah, I
me
was good.
personally.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, such a great song. All right, next up is Stranded in the Jungle.
Well, Stranded,
Meanwhile,
Stranded in the Jungle, of course, is a cover song. And
mm-hmm.
there's a few cover songs on this album
Yep.
because they needed some material and they were fans of the '60s, and that's where this song came from. I think it was the Cadets originally did it,
I
but
thought it was the Jayhawks.
oh, it was the Jayhawks, yeah.
I
But
think so.
the Dolls camped it up, and they really, David took it kind of over the top. A lot of
Meanwhile, back in the States, yeah.
a lot of sound effects and a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of good guitar interplay. It's a really fun song.
Mm-hmm. What would you give it?
I give it a 9.
Okay, I like that. I actually gave it another A plus for me. Um, when that jungle beat starts, you have no idea where this is going, and there's a nice little swerve. There's such a cool swerve in this song, where it goes into the doo wop stuff, and it's like I didn't know it was a cover until way later. I'm like, man, that's so cool. Um, Such a great. It's one of the standout tracks for me on this album too. So, A plus for me.
I actually gave this one an A as well. I said the vocals felt more spoken in the beginning with this tribal spoken piece type thing that was going on, and then it goes into this almost doo-wop punk rock thing, and then just back and forth from that throughout the thing. And I thought that was a really cool contrast of vocal style, music style, and then changing over vocal style and music style the way that it went. And that's one of the things I really loved about that track. It really stood out to me. And to me, that sounded almost innovative for what may have been going on in music at the time. I don't know how many guys or bands were producing something that sounded anything similar to, here we're going to do this spoken piece. It's going to be a little mellow, and then we're going to do this rockin' piece, and it's going to have this doo-wop twist on it. Like I don't know anybody who else was doing anything like that at the time. To me, it sounded very innovative, and I have to think, I was alive shortly after this album, but I can see how this could have influenced bands that I later got into, such as Kiss. I think even Poison and a lot of the hair bands give a lot of influence to these guys being the founder of that style of music. Just the style and flair, glam, flash. Um, but it's very easy to see why these guys are so influential. And that track is another great track. So solid A from me as well.
What the track reminded me of was it reminded me of Back to Africa on the Dictators Go Girl Crazy.
Okay.
It just took me there. It's like, oh yeah, yeah. Just as that whole island thing. I dug it. Let's see. Next up, who are the mystery girls? Wes, we got to ask you, who are the mystery
The
girls? You were
mystery
there.
girls. Yeah, I wish I knew who the mystery girls were. Still a mystery to me. But I love that song. That's another
Yeah.
one of my favorite songs on the album. I mean, every song on the album is a great song to me.
Hmm.
But that song really has a solid feel to it. Good rocking song. Love the vocals on it. Guitar playing. And,
Yeah.
uh, and another, that's a solid 10 for me on that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I absolutely agree. I gave it an A plus. It's killer riff. It's a great singable chorus. I think, um, a lot of these choruses on here are just singable. They're catchy. They're memorable, and this is one of them. Um, um, Great killer solo by Johnny. This song and a couple other ones, but this one especially had a very Stonesy vibe to it. Like I could see this fitting on, say, like Emotional Rescue or maybe Black and Blue for me. So I love this song.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm. Okay. Is that what you got to say?
That's what I gotta say. What do you gotta
Oh,
say?
first of all, I want to point out the word who are the mystery girls as far as mystery goes. For me, I wasn't exactly somebody that was alive and young during that time frame, but I often feel like when you talk about that time frame, the word mystery comes up an awful lot. And I often wonder if mystery wasn't a buzzword for the mid 70s to late 70s. With that being said, I gave this one an A. I said, mm, the riff feels similar to Mama Ken by Aerosmith.
I can
There's a
kind of
riff.
hear that.
There's a riff in there that sounds very similar to Mama Ken. I said there was some cool background vocals, driving beat, killer solo, and one thing I really love in this style of music is clapping. I love clap effects and stuff when in songs, and that's something I really enjoyed. So yeah, this banged another solid A from me, dude.
Yep. Let's see. Next up, we've got another cover by Archie Bell. There's going to be a showdown.
That's another really good song. I had never heard the original. I sought it out after the Dolls version, and of
Mhm.
course the Dolls made it much catchier, much heavier, and it's another solid song. I mean, I
Mhm.
really think it's cool.
No, I agree. Um, would you give it a 9, 10,
I give it a
42?
10. I
Yeah.
give it. It's another solid 10 for me. I mean, it's hard to fault any of these tracks, really.
Yeah. I agree with you. I gave it an A plus. Great 50s riff. Um, Great R&B. Again, it's an old cover. Just that cool vibe, that cool punk attitude with it. Um,
Right,
really.
Johnny's guitar playing on there too. I mean,
Oh.
that riff he plays through is
Mm-hmm.
just incredible. Fits its song perfectly.
Yep. And I love that breakdown uh where he's, counting off with Jerry. Give it one time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, so fun, man.
Yeah.
And again, such a singable chorus. Like I went through a whole day just saying, "Ah, there's gonna be a showdown." It's just great. It's so fun. Tony, what about you?
I gave this one an A as well. I said it was another rockin' tune. I love the guitar and bass line. And David's such a great singer that this actually took me to the album cover. I'm going, man, it's such a great front man. You know, I think when we often think about the big front men in music, David doesn't get enough due. You know,
I'd agree.
I I I think he kind of laid some of the groundwork for the way people would style themselves or act themselves or move themselves, and he just doesn't get the credit that he does. You know that he was a great performer. You know, I've watched video, and he was this great performer, man. He was into doing what he was doing, and he did it well. You know, so
No, I
yeah,
agree. I think that David Johansen was truly an artist. Like he reinvented himself so many times and he was just so prolific and just so different and absolutely comfortable in whatever skin that he had on.
yeah,
And, he was just amazing.
Well, he was an
Absolutely.
innovator.
Yeah.
He was a complete innovator. So many people copied him, and it so often happens. he's kind of pushed aside and people forget about him and he doesn't get the respect he deserves. And kind of like Wendy, she's
Hmm.
another that influenced so many people and was such an innovator, but kind of forgotten and swept under the rug. And like this whole album, was under promoted. It should have been huge, and it wasn't. And that kind of was the end of the Dolls after this record.
Yeah.
That kind of brings me to a point, Wes. I'm glad you actually mentioned that. I was looking at the New York Dolls like Wikipedia page, and we don't know 100% the accuracy there. However, these guys never charted. They never broke into like the top 50 in US charts or anything like that. They never cleared anything, but they influenced so many other bands that would later go on and do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like I said,
It's
that so often happens. The innovators are swept under the rug.
mhm.
Everybody else, takes the baton and runs with it, and it's kind of sad. It's really too bad. And of course, everybody knows the story of how the drugs ravaged them and Johnny and
Yeah.
Jerry, and it's kind of a sad story and rock and roll tragedy, really.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing I've always said, man. If I ever musically had ever made it big, I couldn't leave other bands behind. I would really push, hey, check these guys out. We want these guys to go on, tour with us. If it was ever anything like that, because these are guys you guys grew up with, you played the shows with, and maybe the marketers don't like them and they don't want them, but hey, you know what? You want me to perform? These dudes are coming with, you know?
Right. Well,
Yeah,
they were
I
too much. They were just too much. Like the album says, too much too soon. Yeah.
absolutely. And honestly, they were too much for their own selves. I mean, they weren't getting along too good. The drugs were going just haywire, like Wes was saying. A lot of fuck yous and I don't need you, and Johnny Thunders. I mean, he had a really prolific solo career. No, he you know top of the charts or anything. No, but he put out consistently great music. Jerry was with him for some of that. I don't think he was with him for all of it, was he, Wes?
No, not for all of it, but a good bit of it.
Yeah. And, it's and then well, Sylvain kind of went with David for a couple of David's solo albums, the first couple, I think. So, they were just so creative, and it makes you wonder if they were able to keep their shit together, would it have eventually clicked while they were together? Because what, it took 10 years? 10 years for the the first two albums to get put on anyone's radar as far as like being influential,
Right.
you know? Like what would have happened? So,
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
too
know.
bad. It's too bad if they had, maybe if they had better management and had better push and somebody really got behind them and worked with them. But unfortunately, it just didn't happen.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. What do we got next? It's too late.
Well, that's kind of a kind of a bluesier tune, and it
Hmm.
features some great harp playing by David Johansen, and he
Yep.
plays some great harmonica throughout this album, I think. And of course, he's underrated as a harmonica player.
Yep. No, I absolutely agree.
That
I
song comes on. That song comes on strong. It's like a steamroller, just goes plowing ahead. And I think it's another great song.
hmm Um, would you give it like a 9, 10?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yep, 9.5, I would say.
We'll take it. I agree. I gave it a solid A. Again, everyone has space in this song to kind of do their own thing. Everyone has their own little solo thing to open up the song. It's a great rock and roll riff. David's harmonica really accentuates the song. Just it's so fun, such a fun song. Solid A for me.
Nice. I gave this one an A as well. I love the opening with all the showcasing several different instruments, and I wrote horn slash harmonica because I couldn't really differentiate it too well. I was having a bad hearing day. I don't know, maybe something to that degree. I said it was another toe tapper, and it felt like a Stones tune to me. Like if you ever sit and listen to like an album where the Stones they're just jamming, they're kind of doing their own thing. It's what it felt like to me, and it's solid A, dude. And I just want to mention, I'm halfway through this album, and I've given everything an A. And that's an honest feeling of halfway through this album. You know, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard too much dull shit that I didn't like. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Track number
Yep.
6, Bruce, Puss in Boots.
Put some boots. What do you got?
Ah, that's another one of my favorite tracks. I think that one just really is a fun tune.
They opened up with that tune during the reunion tour, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah. So fun.
yeah. It's really cool. Great chorus, great backing vocals. I mean, Sylvain was a great backing vocalist. He really
Hmm.
had that high voice, and he added so much depth to the songs.
No, I agree. Um, for me, this is a total A plus. Another instant classic. Like, if you're putting together the perfect doll set list, this has to be in there. This has to be in that set list. So, more straight up rock and roll. Um, Great singable chorus, great background vocals, just so fun. Perfect song.
Well, I'm going to be the odd man out here.
What?
I am. I am going to be the odd man out here. I gave this one a B. It's not a skippable track by any means. It definitely fits the vibe of the album. There, it felt a little more pop punk to me, and it was still a great tune, but the solo felt a little disjointed to me. Um, for me, it kind of felt like it was a little out of time, really weird. Something about
Hmm.
the timing there didn't sit well with me, and for me it just felt a little disjointed as far as the solo went. Not a skippable tune by any means. It definitely fits the vibe of the album. It is just the if I were going to ding a song for anything, this gets a ding for it felt a little more pop punky to me, and I didn't care for it as much as the rest that was on the album. However, not a skippable track. All right.
It better not be. That
Go
thing's a fucking banger.
ahead. Hey, listen, different strokes for different folks, man. For me, it was the pop punk thing and the guitar being a little disjointed. That's why it got the ding from me. Not a horrible song by any means, but
Hmm.
it just, it's not a skippable song. It fits the album. I would still let the album spin. It's not like I gave it a C, Bruce. Like see you later. No, it's a good tune, man. Just it didn't hold as
And that's
well.
good.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, Wes, next up we got Chatterbox.
Well, this is definitely a great song. This is Johnny Thunder's solo piece.
Hmm.
Started out called Milk Me, and then it was Milkman, and then it went to Chatterbox. And this is Johnny Thunder's finest moment. He steps out front, takes a solo spot. Great song, I think. Just a solid song. Played it throughout his career. Just a perfect song, I think. A solid 10 for me.
Yeah. You know, um, if I remember right, this was his first time as lead vocalist.
Right. Hmm.
Yep. Yep. So, uh, I actually gave this a B. Um, it it's a good song for sure, but his singing doesn't compare to David's on this track. And I like a lot of Johnny's singing, obviously, but on this track, it just doesn't compare to what David's putting down. I love there's a really great attitude with it. It's a solid song. It's just not a standout track for me. But his solo in this is fucking amazing. But just I think what dinged it for me was his vocal delivery on it, but everything else was just phenomenal. Um, but as compared to the rest of it, you know, David's a better singer.
Yeah, David's a better singer, no question about that. But Johnny, he gives it that New York attitude, and
Hmm.
just the way his vocal delivery. I really like it.
Yeah. Well, again, kind of like between Keith and Mick, Mick's phenomenally a better singer, but I love Keith's vocals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the whenever I buy a new Stones album, I'll go, okay, where's Keith's song? I love Keith's songs. So, but yeah, for me, vocally, it just didn't match up to the rest of this album. So I dinged it a little bit, but I still really like this song.
hmm
Well, you would be the odd man out on this one, brother. This was actually an A+ for me.
hmm
I love this track. Driving beat, big guitar sound here. Vocals
Mm.
are a little different, obviously, because the Thunder's being on here, and it felt more punk to me. I made this note personally, and I hope you're listening to me, Wes. This would have made a great Plasmatics cover. I would love to have heard the Plasmatics cover this track.
That would have been cool. I've
That
never
would
thought about that, but that
that
would, that would really be cool. I could hear Wendy singing there.
man, I'm telling you, it would punch it home, man. That was I was just like I got done listening to it and I said, "Damn, what if the Plasmatics had covered that?"
Mm.
I was just like, "Man, that'd be so damn good." Like, so yeah, I really enjoyed that track. So, Bruce, I think we're moving on, or are we
Yeah.
sticking around on
Well,
this killer track that you dinged?
you just brought up something. Wes, did you guys do any cover songs?
Oh yeah, we did quite a few covers. We did Bobby Darin's song on the first album, Dream Lover.
Hmm.
That
Right.
was a
Yep.
big album.
Yep. Yep.
We did covers here and there. We worked up actually the Donovan song Atlantis, but we never played it live.
Mm. Is there
It's
any secret recordings of that somewhere?
No, unfortunately.
it's funny how much you practice and practice or play around with and practice that never makes it to the stage.
And we were going to do Born to Be Wild. We worked on that for a while.
Mm.
That's awesome.
We did a cover of a song by a band called Classic Ruins, which is a Boston band. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them,
Mm-mm.
but they had a song called Heart Attack. We used to play that in some of our early shows. They opened for us, and Wendy liked the song, and we played that for a few shows. That was a really cool song.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of
I,
course,
I
Nice.
we did Motorheads. You know,
yeah. Stand by Your Man
yeah, Stand by Your
and
Man.
then no class. Shit. No class.
No Class. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I forgot about that Dream Lover. I completely forgot about that off the first album. So
It's one of my
my
favorite covers.
apologies.
It's probably, I'll tell you what, I know of two covers by that who have done that song in a punk version. The Misfits with Jerry Only actually singing it on the 1950s tribute album that they did where they covered a bunch of 1950s tunes, and the Plasmatics cover. I prefer the Plasmatics cover.
Of course, that goes without saying.
Jerry's is all right, but and I'm a huge Misfits fan, but I prefer the Plasmatics cover.
No, I would agree.
Yeah.
Fuck the Misfits.
Fuck you.
All right, next up, we got Bad Detective.
Bad
Wes.
Detective. That's another one of my favorite songs. That's a cover song, and it's probably very un PC these days. As David Johansen affects his best Oriental voice, and it's another fun song. I mean,
Yeah,
I give it a solid 10. I love it.
yeah. No, I agree. It's goofy. It's just such a goofy, fun song. I said, Mr. Taylor.
Right.
Uh,
It's a lot of
it,
fun.
yeah, it fits the album. I mean, this is a fun album, and this just fits right in with the whole vibe of this album. Arthur's bass really stands out to me on this. That bass line that he's got running through this whole song is great. Um, I love that line. I'm a bad detective and I always get my man. It's just so fun. It's a solid A for me. I love this song.
Sweet. I gave it
Boogie
an A
woogie
as
woogie
well.
woogie.
I said there was a deeper David vocal, more spoken again, felt like some country swing beat to rock thing. And I have a question. Who the hell is Mr. Chan?
Charlie Chan.
Charlie Chan, yeah, the
Okay,
detective.
thank you.
He's a
Sorry,
Chinese
my
detective.
bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Did you ever watch that show
I
when
did
we
not
were
watch a lot
kids?
of, I did never watch a lot of Charlie Chan growing up.
Oh, I love Charlie
Something I
Chan.
missed out on.
Yeah.
The Asian guitar thing I thought was really cool. Kind of took me back to where Rush did like Passage to Bangkok. Passage to Bangkok goes to open up. And I really, really, really dig this track. It was a banger of a track for sure. Really, really cool thing going on there.
So you gave it an A?
Solid A. Solid A.
There you go.
Dude, this album is um, it's a lesson. It's a lesson in how to get it done. I'm
Hmm.
telling you, I dig it, man.
When I gave it to Bruce, I told him it was banger after banger on this
Hmm.
It
record.
is a
It was,
banger after banger. It's solid, man. All right, track number 9, Bruce. Don't start talking. I think that goes to Wes, right?
Yep. Don't stop me talking.
yeah, Sonny Boy Williamson, another blues standard, but the
I
Dolls
love
rock
Sonny
it up.
Boy Williamson too.
Yeah, the Dolls just totally rock it up again. David Johansen with his harp playing, and right, don't start me talking. I'll tell you everything I know, and I know a lot. Believe me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really great song. I think.
Yeah. To me, they really made this song their own. It just fits them perfectly. The harmonica is perfect. Another great solo by Johnny. Um, and I love the Sonny Boy Williamson um, version as well. Obviously, not the same kind of energy at all, but this is great song and a great cover. Uh, A plus for me.
I give this one an A as well, man. Another driving beat. There's a familiar piano guitar um dun, 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 that's going on in there. And the harmonica solo. Oh, God bless America. That was that was the chef's kiss on this track, man. I was just like blown away at how good that like if that's Johansson on harmonica, man, I'll tell you what, dude, he is probably, in my opinion, the best harmonica player I've ever heard. He really gets the like that sounded like horns, like a symphony of horns going off, man. He really tears that shit up, dude.
Mhm.
Hey, he's damn good.
Dude, he's
He's damn
freaking
good.
he's good, dude. Good.
Yep. So that brings us to our last track, Humans Being. Wes.
Human Being. Yeah, that's another song that was around for quite a while. I think for the Dolls, and they brought it out for this album. As one of the originals, and it's a really solid song too. I think
Mhm.
it really has a nice driving beat and solid playing, and it's a 10 for me.
Yeah. I originally heard this song on the Spaghetti Incident by Guns N' Roses. That punk covers album that they did.
Okay.
Um, was that right before Use Your Illusion or right after? I think it was right after. Um, and that album actually kind of introduced me to a lot of different punk bands. Like, oh, okay, well, you know, I like this version. Let's hear the originals. So, that album kind of gets shit on a lot, but I really enjoy it, and I like humans being. It's a great riff. The production on this actual song could have been a little bit better. Um, on this track in particular, it gets a little repetitive. Uh, it is probably a good minute too long for me. Um, Still a really fun track. Um, it's just great, great song with the horns in there. It's very New York. This feels so New York to me. Solid A. I love this song.
Cool, cool. Me personally, I gave it another A. So this is another driving, straightforward rock tune. If I'm acting like a king, it's because I'm a human being. I love that line. I think that's a really, really cool line. So this was a great closer to a great album. I love the horns on this. This album was wow. Like Bruce, what are you giving this thing, man?
Let's start with Wes first. Wes, what are
Okay.
you giving this thing?
Well, that's a solid 10. This is one of my all-time favorite albums. It's up there. Could be my favorite album of all time. I mean, it's just
Mm.
so influential. Love all the songs on it. Love the playing. Love the sound, production. I think it's just a solid album from start to finish.
So would you put this above the first Dolls album?
I think I would. I think it's a rockier song. I mean, I like most of the first Dolls album. That's probably my second favorite album of all time. But I like this one better.
Okay.
You know, I think I agree with you. I think this gets the slight edge for me, as far as between the first album and this one. Um, this is just a little more put together. It's a little more, um, uh, I guess, just put together is the best way I can say it right now.
Well,
Um,
they've had the touring and the playing, and they're more polished. They sound a little more confident and more arrogant and more
mhm.
attitude. And I think it's just a better album all around.
Yeah, because there is what a year between the two
Probably
albums.
not quite a year, maybe a year, but
Yeah,
real close.
yeah. Uh, so I gave Chatterbox a B. I would say this is probably like a 9.75 for me. It's almost a perfect album. I'm not turning any of this stuff away. Like I love this album. This is before I heard I'm drawing a blank. Hold on. Before I heard the album that Steve Conti was on, One Day It Will Please Us. Before I heard that, this was probably my favorite Dolls album. But I think one day that's probably still my favorite Dolls album. But it's like 1A and 1B. I mean, between these two, I love this album a lot. So 9.75 for me.
Nice. This thing gets a solid 9.5 from me. Um, with Puss in Boots getting the B, but the Chatterbox getting the A plus and everything else having an A. It's a 9.5 for me. This is a solid listen. This tells me after really thoroughly reviewing a couple Dolls albums that I need to get some of that stuff in my library. So I need to find some place to put it in regular rotation. Maybe it's time to start making another memory stick for the car to listen to. So yeah, this is a banger of an album. Wes, thank you so much for giving it to us. I can see why this album would be so influential on you and your guitar path. Um, this is this is truly a gift, and I implore anybody out there that's listening or watching, if you get the chance, man, even if you can't afford to go buy an album or anything right now, go check it out over on YouTube or wherever you can cop that at if you got access to it streaming through Spotify or something like that. If they're on there, definitely give this album a shot. This is certified by 3 panel members of the Hooked on Sonics crew, and very influential on one of our special guests.
Yeah.
What an amazing album, man. I mean, I'm still, it's not often I get things that Bruce knows he gives me a lot of albums and I can rate them somewhere between a 9 and a 10, but they just won't make my regular rotation. For something to have that kind of, I want to have this in the car. I want to have it ready to spin whenever I'm just cruising or something. There's a lot of really good driving tune stuff on here. And I really like the punk flair that's involved on this as well. It's not much, a little more rocking, but it's enough to, that New York attitude. I love it.
Yep.
Phenomenal album, man.
Wes, which would you play first? This album or LAMF?
Oh, now there's a tough one. There's a tough one.
Because dude, that's such a
'Cause
killer album.
that's a great album. Yeah, yeah. That's Johnny Thunders at his finest.
Yep.
That's the next logical step from this album.
Yep. It absolutely is. Because that came out in what, 77?
Yeah, I think
Yep.
77. Yeah.
Yep. So good, man. Real
Phenomenal
quick
album.
before we kind of move on, I really want to kind of talk about like David Johansen's legacy and just kind of like, you know, did either of you like his solo stuff, including the Buster Poindexter stuff, and kind of what are some standout things for each of you guys?
Well, I always enjoyed David's solo stuff. I mean, I saw his solo bands a couple times, and his first solo album has some really great songs on it, some
Mhm.
collaborations with Sylvain, and kind of took it to another level. It was really really well done. A lot of catchy songs, and and I followed his career throughout. I like Buster Poindexter. I mean, that was really campy, and he had some great songs with that. And of course, the stuff he did with the Harry Smiths, that was another, you know, really cool stuff. And I just think he was just a real, like you said, like an artist. He was
Mhm.
very confident. He had a great voice, a great style, and it's just too bad that he never got the proper promotion or proper push that he should have.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. So like, he had, his solo thing, which was when he first started, which is completely different visually from the Dolls, but like you could absolutely see at least half of those songs off his first solo album could fit as doll songs.
Well, I think half of them were in the
Yeah,
later Dolls set list, actually.
yeah. Funky but chic,
Right, right.
such a great song. But
Mhm.
um, but when he made that transition to Buster Poindexter, I think he was even kind of uh, overwhelmed by how much people really dug that music. And he's like, okay, I want to move on from that, but people had no interest in him moving on from that. And it was just like he kind of resented that for a while. Um, but I those first two Buster Poindexter albums to me are just pure classics.
Mhm.
So many deep cuts on there. Um, you know, I love that stuff. And then of course the Harry Smith stuff is kind of where I'm currently at, like headspace wise. That Americana, you know, singer songwriter type stuff. I just dig every bit of it. And I've said this before, but like when he passed, it really felt like a friend had passed. It's like it felt like I knew him even though I've never met him before. Like through his music, like it was so personal, a lot of that. And it's just like, wow. It hit hard for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've seen some horrible deaths, man. Some heavy hitters, man. Ozzy, Ace, David
Yep.
Johansen. These guys were they paved the way for a lot of guys, man.
Hmm. Yep.
You know, it's like I was sitting there telling Kate, the other day. I was like, my heroes are fucking dying. You know,
Yep.
sucks.
Wes, let me ask you this. Was who do you think was the MVP of the dolls? Like, let's just say the dolls were just starting out. Could could they have been as influential? I wouldn't say successful because that didn't come till way after the fact, but could they have been as influential without David or without Johnny?
Oh, I don't think so. Those were the integral parts to the band, and I don't
Yeah.
think they would have done as well without either one of them.
Yeah.
I
David
think
Johansen, of course, was the voice. He was the front person. He was the de facto leader of the band.
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
drummer, though, man, that drummer comes in so clutch.
It's freaking great.
So clutch, dude. Like big drums. Like I can't mention enough on this album. Like everything sounds big. It sounds great. I love it. But those drums, man, and it's no disparage to anything else because everything else is just as big. But I think those drums aren't getting the credit they're due. They're 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 big, man. Them fills are really nice and all that, man. It's just that guy is in there. He's he's a top tier drummer, man.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
wasn't there? Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't there some like, didn't Jerry have a problem with the sound of the drums either on this album or the first album? Like
it
he
was
was
more
really
of a.
pissed.
It was the Thunder solo, the LAMF album,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
and they used to go on and on about that, the sound, and kind of like hotter than hell. They
Yeah.
just didn't have a good sound.
No, muddled as shit. But man, like you were saying at the beginning of the show, that on that LAMF album, like there's not a bad version of that album. I don't care what mix you put on there. It all sounds fucking phenomenal.
Well, it's the songs and the playing. I mean,
Yep.
that's what it is.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh man, Wes, thank you so much for bringing this onto the show and um,
I'm glad you
you
got glad you guys liked it. I want to show you a couple books I got that so some further information and reading about the dolls. I don't know if you've
yeah.
ever seen this one,
Uh-uh.
In Too Much Susuma Nino Antonio. She chronicled the dolls from their beginning to their end.
Okay.
A really good book you should check out. Nina Antonio, and then this book by Chris Needs. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Uh-uh.
But
Trash.
but he was a journalist for New Musical Express, and he was around in the punk rock era in England. He wrote a really good book about the dolls. And,
Nice.
Morrissey was another big Dolls fan, and he
Mhm.
promoted them and promoted some of their solo shows later on.
Yeah. Well, he was responsible for getting them back together.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and Tony, you probably haven't seen. There was an Arthur Kane documentary. I think it was just called New York Doll, right, Wes?
Yeah. New York Doll. Uh huh.
Yeah, and it followed Arthur, like he was working at some monastery or something as a librarian, and it followed him to getting back together with the band and stuff, and just his nervousness and you know, man, what a tragic story
Yeah.
how that all ended for him, man.
Wow.
So it's a must watch.
I need to catch up on some things visually, man. I've been trying to get to that. I just wrapped up the Alien series on Hulu. But I'm trying to get through things. Me and my daughter watched the Stranger Things mid mid series, whatever the hell it is. It's getting good, but I do need to get caught up on a bunch of other things. Like there's a bunch of newer filmed concerts on YouTube that I need to check out and whatnot. So
And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but that new remastered Beatles anthology on Disney Plus is amazing.
Is it? I,
Oh,
I've been listening to Anthology for, really ever since it came out, and I just love the song selection on that. So, yeah, I can't wait to see that on Disney Plus.
I mean, the sound and the visual quality is just stunning.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome.
I just started watching it, but it's really amazing
That's
Nice.
because
awesome.
it all came from the Beatles anyway. So
Yeah, so it's got to be awesome.
Fair to say. Yeah, I saw a really cool video out there this past week where Ozzy got to meet Paul, and
Hmm.
it was a really cool interaction. Like he was just to see Ozzy blown away by meeting Paul McCartney. Very cool interaction.
Yeah, and I kind of touched on that when we, had our tribute episode to that. Like, to see, like, Paul was legitimately like trying to interact with him, like, hey, I just want to talk to you, and Ozzy's like, no, I don't want to bother you. Like
Yeah,
this humility that he had, like it was wild.
yeah, crazy respect for each other.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yep. So you know what else everyone's got to watch? They got to watch Into the Void, episode 7, the Wendy
Episode
O.
five.
Williams.
It's episode 5.
5.
Yeah,
What was
Episode
7?
five.
I forget what 7
Yeah,
was.
fuck that episode 7. Episode 5, that's where it's at. Check out Wes and TC Tolliver talking about Wendy O. Williams, because she is forever missed, and just a pure rock and
Legend.
roll soul, man. Absolutely.
Legend.
Wes, where can people learn more about you and the plasmatics and all that
Well,
jazz?
you can always go to plasmatics.com and you can order any of the merchandise on there. All the CDs are available, some posters, some t shirts. And any of you viewers out there, just put in the notes you want to autograph. I'll be happy to autograph any of it for you.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
Always. All right, Bruce. I think
Hmm.
we're at that time.
Yeah. What are you giving me?
Mm, this has been a tough one, man, because I am still not through my top five of 25. I'm about 4 out of 10. Shit. Um, so I'm gonna give you something that I've actually been listening to lately, and we got talking about covers. There's a cover on here.
Hmm.
You're going to be familiar with this. You are probably not going to like this album. I am
Sweet.
I am going to I am going to be honest with you. This is on the Doom side of things. These guys come out of Cape Fear, North Carolina area with the guys from Weed Eater. I'm actually getting going to possibly go see them this Thursday. Um, I'm giving you Bronco's self-titled debut album, Bronco.
Okay. Cool. Well, the pick I got for you for next week is straight from Australia. They're on tour right now with Amel and the Sniffers, who we all love. They're on tour opening up for AC/DC. You're getting the Southern River Band and their latest album, Easier Said Than Done, my friend.
Give me 1 second here.
Phenomenal guitar playing in this.
The Southern River Band.
Yep,
Easier said than done.
yep. Wes, have you heard of those guys?
No, it's new to me.
Check it out. I'm telling you, your eardrums will dance and sing.
All right.
Now, speaking of this tour that you just mentioned, Bruce, I've seen
Hmm.
some live things over on TikTok and YouTube, man. Um, it looks like some of the fans aren't happy with Emil and the Sniffers opening up. Have you
I
seen
don't know
like
why.
I don't know why either, because honestly, I think they're a great band, and
They're
I don't
fucking
think
killer.
I think, but they're opening up for AC/DC, and you got to think, man, some of these guys, folks, ain't prepared for Emil and the Sniffers, dude. But it's
Dude, the
crazy. They're from the
energy's
same
there.
area, dude. I don't disagree. I don't freaking disagree. But I think I've sent you something over on TikTok to go to show you that they weren't really feeling it, man. I'm like, what in the fuck, dude? Like they put out some great albums. Like, uh, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
I dig them, but I'll be honest with you. If you're going to an AC/DC show and you have the opportunity to see Amyl and the Sniffers, definitely see them.
Yeah,
They're
and
pretty
they are coming to the States in 2026, so
okay.
on their own. So they might come up your neck of the woods there, Wes.
Yeah, I have to keep an eye
That
out for.
Oh
yeah.
man, there is actually something that's coming up that I want to see really, really, really bad, but I'm imagining tickets are going to be really ridiculous. This Satch Vi band thing. Have you guys heard about this?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, Satch and Satriani and Vi are together going out and jamming. And that's two of my favorite guitar all time. Joe Satriani is my all time favorite guitar player. All time favorite guitar. So I've always wanted to see him, but I've always said I don't want to see him unless he's with Satch. I wanted to knock those two birds out with one stone. And usually he does that big guitar tour thing where few people are on board, like Nuno Betancourt. I know they had Tosin Abasi from Animals as leaders. As a matter of fact, Animals as leaders is going out on tour with these guys.
Hmm.
So if you get the chance, Bruce, you should really take in that show. You want to see a wonderful set of musicians really getting off. Yeah. And Wes, that's something I would tell you, man. If you really appreciate like musical pieces, without vocal pieces, some the guys that are in Animals as leaders really put out some phenomenal albums. And the thing you got to remember there is, although you're listening to it, there's no bass player on the album. It's two 7-string guitar players and a drummer, and it sounds so huge. Love those dudes. I've seen them like I think twice live. If I see them with Satriani and Vi, they're a great opener. I'll take it. So
All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a early New Year's resolution. All three of us are going to get together and watch a show somewhere. We're going
I
to
think
catch a show together.
I think it'd have to be somewhere either in northern Ohio or Columbus.
Detroit.
Let's make that happen. Let's find out
All
about
right.
Yeah,
something coming
yeah,
in, and let's make that happen.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Wes, thank you again for being here, being a part of the show, being our friends, and just turning us on to so much killer music. And thank you for all your contributions in rock and roll, man.
All right.
Because we love the Plasmatics. We love you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your
Yep.
support. Thanks for having me, and I'm glad you enjoyed that album.
Man, it was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. We'll have to find another album to do this around with again.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
the next panel thing we do will you'll be in on. So with that being said, I'm Tone.
I'm Bruce. That's Wes.
And that's Wes. And we're hooked on Sonics. We'll see you
See
guys
ya.
next time.
Peace.